Good morning or afternoon, wherever you are with us for this class. My name is Ricardo Gonzalez. I am a trainer for domestic and international market for Raypak. This morning, our class will be about Crosswind installations and requirements. Okay. As a reminder to all our participants, the instruction provided in this training is intended for qualified and experienced professionals. If you are not qualified, please do not attempt to apply these instructions on your own. I would like to take a moment to state Raypak's commitment to developing and producing sustainable products. Raypak and our parent company, REAM, have established firm goals as we work towards substantial reductions in waste, both in our manufacturing processes and in our entire line of products. As we work toward our vision of designing for zero waste, we have developed a strategic framework with a specific target goals to be met by 2025. We are committed to developing and innovating intelligent products that reduce waste over the lifetime of the appliance, including the use of recycled and recyclable materials. We will endeavor to reduce greenhouse gases by 50% and achieve zero waste to landfill in our global manufacturing operations. We will train 250,000 plumbers, contractors, and technicians on sustainable products, installation, and recycling best practices. Why does this matter to you? Because your customers want to buy products from a company that values sustainability. 84% of the customers indicate that they prioritize purchasing a gas heater or a heat pump from a brand that is committed to sustainability over one that is not. What can you do? Let your customer know that environmental factors are important to you in your business dealings. Purchase products and material from companies that take sustainability seriously. Consider investing in fuel-efficient work vehicles. Use paperless billing practices. Make sure that the appliances that you replace are properly recycled. Recycle the cardboard box that you receive the new appliance. And there are dozens of ways to embrace sustainability in your business, many of which help profitability. We hope that you take the time to consider them. Thank you guys for listening our sustainability message. Okay guys, so welcome to our wages classes. This is for water, air, gas, electrical, and service and installation. Closer look of a full inverter control system because we are going to be seeing today just the inverter type. The compressor and the fan motor, the speed is exactly the speed that it needs to reach an optimized performance. So both of them are going to be going at the same speed. And this is more efficient than the step inverters that may only have 2, 3, or 5 speed. On the full inverter control, if you see, we control the inverter, the DC inverter compressor, as well as the DC inverter fan motor. And how can we do that? Well, there is a control inside of the unit that make that completely possible. If you take a look of the parts, the internal parts, we have a fan, evaporator coil, we have the LC display digital control, spiral titanium heat exchanger, and the weatherproof plastic jacket. As every installation, there are requirements, and these are really basic requirements. And for our Crosswind, we need to have the following equipment to install properly the unit. We need to have a multimeter capable to measure high voltage, 208 to 480, and ohms resistance at up to 100K. We need an amp meter, a 1/4 nut driver, a 5/16 nut driver, number 2 Phillips, 1/8 slaughter blade, 1/4 slaughter blade, and a manual thermometer to measure the water temperature or refrigerant line temperature. Okay, so we need one of this and we need one of those. Okay, with those two, you are able to at least read the load that is inside of the unit, and there is a certain part that you cannot go beyond that point unless you have the proper license. That's the reason why we always read that precautionary statement at the beginning of every class. In order to get into the refrigeration circuit for any heat pump, you need to have the proper license. So let's see the water flow. Water flow is a very simple unit to install. We have the two isolation valves right here. Bypass. Always remember, it's good to have a bypass when you do any type of installation, regardless if this is a gas heater, a heat pump series 40, or a crosswind. If you have a proper bypass, you're going to be able to control the flow, especially if you're working with variable speed pumps. So let's see the parameters, the flows. Minimum required flow is 13.2 to 17.7 on the 30,000 BTU, 17.7 to 26.4 on the 40,000 BTU, 21.9 to 30.6 max on the 50,000 BTU, and 28.5 to 37.5 on the 60,000 BTU. Inlet and outlet for all the units is going to be 1.5 unit. Remember that will be more easy to control the flow if you set up a bypass. Keep in mind the hydraulics design, especially if you're going to be working with multiple crosswinds. Okay. On the air side, the description show right here, guys, does not mean that the cube has to be inside of a cube, inside of a room. It's just for demonstration purposes. You need to be at least 12 inches from any wall and from the top. Okay. So basically, when you install the unit outside, and always has to be outside, has to be away from any wall or anything that might be preventing free airflow. You need to be 1 feet away. Okay. Remember, heat pumps are going to be extraordinarily efficient because they don't need to produce heat. They transfer heat. They transfer heat from the outside ambient into the water. The reason why they are so perfect for mild and humid climates. Surrounding air is a key element for the heat pump to work properly. Therefore, avoid locations that will restrict the flow of air around the unit. Remember, they expel chill air, okay? And that if that air starts to recirculate in an area that is not moving freely, the air, chances are that there are sensors that are going to pick up that ambient temperature that is dropping, and it's going to cut immediately the voltage, thinking that the ambient temperature is below the proper range. Okay. Also, outdoor rolling, as I mentioned, 12 inches on top, back, front, left side, and right side. On the floor, yes, you can put it on the floor. It's not going to be any problem. Regarding the refrigerant gas, it's a R410A. And as I mentioned before, you need to have the proper license to do so. The refrigerant, the ounces that we use is 28.2 for the 30,000 BTU, 31.7 for the 40,000 BTU, 38.8 for the 50,000 BTU, and 49.9 for the 65,000 BTU. Okay. If you want to get a copy of our certification, please go to www.ahri.org and you can find a Crosswind heat pump and you can see our certification. Okay. On the electrical side, okay, there are minimum requirements that is called the minimum circuit ampacity. If you notice, this the first four models that I am showing here is for the inverter type. The rest are for the on and off that is not really part of this class because we are just moving the inverter type in the US. Okay, so for the minimum circuit ampacity, you only use 12 amps for the 30, 40, for the 30 and 40,000 BTU. For the 50, you need 60 amps, that is the minimum. And for the 65 is 20 amps. That is the initial amps that the unit is going to be drawing. But the breaker size has to be, there is minimum and maximum. For the 30,000 is going to be 15 and 15 amps, minimum and maximum. Same for the 40,000 BTU, 15 and 15 and 15 amps. For the 50,000 BTU is going to be 20 and 20. And for the 65,000 is going to be 20 minimum and 25 maximum breaker size. Spaces, especially if you are using a heat pump along with gas heater, might be that possible situation that you are trying to have a boost from the gas heater. Okay, just make sure that you are 1 feet or 20 inches away from any wall and 5 feet on top of the unit. If you have a roof, a slope roof like this, make sure that it's not going to be going directly on top of the unit. Okay, if this your installation is going to have also a gas heater, make sure that you are 3 feet away from each other. Why? Gas heater is going to need air for combustion and ventilation. But at the same time, the crosswind is a lateral air discharge and it's going to be expelling cold air, but at the same time, it's going to be taking air from the ambient. So both of those appliances, they need air for their proper functioning. For any of you attending the class from Florida, yes, we are in compliance with the Florida Building Code. That is also Florida and Texas now. So there are some anchors at the base of the unit that you can firmly position the crosswind on any concrete slab that you are putting your unit. If you want to see more of that, please go to our INO manual and you're going to find that information at the end of the unit. Also, the unit allows you to make a connection for a remote external controller, aka automation system. What kind of automation system? Those that are in the market from Hayward, from Jandy, known today as Fluidra, Pentero, or any company that produce automation system. Okay, so this is our circuit, and exactly right here, we're gonna see that in detail pretty soon, is the point of entry for the automation system. If you happens to have a system like this, this is the most common arrangement for a pool spa combination or pool spa combo, where you have a spa pool. Maybe your automation system is going to be controlling three-way valve to be sending water through the solar system to the heater or intaking water from the spa, whatever is the situation. Okay, all that is going to be controlled by the remote automation system. Okay, but those remote automation systems that are in the market, they have also their own temperature sensors. Usually they have three. Okay, they have a pool and spa sensor, that is the water sensor, air sensor, especially used when the automation system is installed on cold climates. Okay, here in California we don't have that issue, but anybody else that is attending this class that might be in a place that is cold on winter, the air sensor is the great addition. And the solar sensor is if you are using also a solar sensor in combination with any source of heat and can be a heat pump or a gas heater. Okay, so always those automation systems are going to bring those sensors. Okay, so we need to run wires from the automation controller for heat on the terminal strip inside of the heater electrical compartment inside of the heat pump. And it's going to be exactly where is number 5 and 6. In 5 and 6, you're going to find, guys, a jumper between those two lines. Remove the jumper and, and hook up the wires that you're bringing from the automation system. Okay? You don't need to do any programming. All what you need to do is set up the temperature on pool or spa to the maximum temperature, 104. Why is that? Because now, once the connection has been made physically, the automation system is the one that is going to be calling the shots. So the set point is going to be established at the automation system, and the heat pump is going to be just there to provide the required heat for the set point that has been chosen. Okay, so 5 and 6 is the point of entry for the automation system. Also, we can make multiple heat pumps operations. Okay, for the operation, if running multiple heat pumps, there has to be a lead heat pump to control the follower heat pumps. We need to do some following. We need to follow some steps connecting the units, plus doing some programming. So let's do first the physical connections. Okay, you see right here 5 and 6. This is for automation. L1, L2 is for high voltage that is coming from the main service panel. This is ground, and then you have P1 and P2. So from P1, P2, we run two wires to the next following heat pump or follower number 1, and we made the connection on the 5, 6. Okay, it's like we are bringing the automation to this point, but this is not automation. It's P1 and P2, and we continue P1, P2 to the 5 and 6 to follower number 2, and so on P1, P2 to follower number 3 until whatever units you might have. You might have 10, you might have 15, whatever you want. You can make that connection like this. Okay, so once we have that, the program on the lead heat pumps needs to be changed for the operation of the single heat pump to control the follower heat pumps. So you need to press and hold for 3 seconds the lock pad. The lock pad is an icon that is on the display to light up the screen. Then press the fan icon or pad plus the pad sign together for 5 seconds. So fan and plus for 5 seconds, and the code PO will, with the value of 0, will be displaying on the LCD display. Press the fan pad to enter the modification code and press the plus sign pad to change the code to number 1. The value of the code will be flashing. So the number 1 is going to be flashing, and the modification code 1 is water temperature control through terminal P1 and P2, exactly like it is shown on the diagram. Press the fan pad to confirm and quit the modification code. Press the power pad to exit, and the follower heat pumps need to have the water set point also to 104. Press and hold the 3-second the lock pad to light up the screen with the screen lock. Unlock, press the plus pad to raise the set point to 104. Now we have made the connection between a lead heat pump and whatever number of followers of heat pumps that you want to have. I'm talking about Crosswind. That's the way to do a connection for that. Can we make a connection? There was somebody in the other class that was asking, can we make a connection for override the timer in order to start the heat pump? Yes, we can do that. I apologize that I cannot show you the diagram right here, but it's going to be explained on tomorrow's class for the troubleshooting. Okay. Yes, but we can do that also. And the connection has to be through P1, P2 going to a relay. And from the relay, we are going to the pump. Okay. Yes, we can also do that. Okay. Well, we would like to hear from you. at training@raypak.com. Okay, if you have any question, feel free to send us a question. Feel free to even write me directly if you want. My email is ricardo.gonzalez with C's, both of them, at raypak.com. I'd be glad to answer any question that you might have. Okay, thank you so much for being in the class. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Have a great day.